check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation.
January 23rd, 2000. The Jacksonville Jaguars are playing the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship in what is the biggest game in franchise history for both of these teams, as the winner gets to play in the Super Bowl for the first time ever. In the end, the Titans won the game, sweeping the Jacksonville Jaguars by giving them not just 3 defeats on the season, but their only 3 defeats of the season, as the Jaguars win 15-0 against the rest of the NFL and 0-3 against the Titans. Despite trailing 14-10 at the half, the Titans came back and won the AFC Championship by scoring the final 23 points of the contest to win it 33-14. In just their 3rd season since moving to Tennessee, their 2nd season since moving to Nashville after that 1-year debacle in Memphis that you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner, and their 1st season known as the Titans with an identity of their own, Nashville had a Super Bowl team. And considering the fact that making the Super Bowl was a big deal, the fact that this was the first time any pro sports team in Tennessee ever made a championship, the fact that the Titans were being embraced by Nashville, and the fact that the distance from Nashville to Atlanta, where the game was being played, was not even 250 miles, so a 4-hour drive, making it not even necessary to buy plane tickets or even hotel tickets depending on how you wanted to play it, I think it's safe to say that a lot of people in Tennessee wanted to go to the Super Bowl, and a lot of Titans fans want to support their team in the championship game. And if you want to support me, you can do so by hitting that like button down below, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. We post every single day about the weird and the wacky history of the NFL, including the Super Bowl. So if you like that sort of stuff, then this is the place for you. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. Now, what are the ways you can get a ticket to the Super Bowl besides buying one? How can you do it? Well, you can win a promotion. And most of these promotions are your pretty standard run-of-the-mill competitions. You have things like winning a trivia contest, which I did in order to win 2 tickets to Super Bowl XXXVII in Phoenix, because of course I was going to compete in a football trivia contest. You have things like calling into a radio station and just being a certain number caller. You have things like doing something weird and wacky. You get the idea. There are a billion promotions under the sun in order to win tickets to the Super Bowl, to the point where the Super Bowl feels as though it's primarily made up of people who win promotions across the country, like a giant Wonka golden ticket sweepstakes. However, there was one promotion that was so baffling, so mind-numbingly stupid, and so poorly thought out that I need to break down how absurd it is. Anyone with even a quarter-functioning frontal lobe would recognize right away that this was a bad idea. But one Nashville radio station ran with it. And yeah, I'm still trying to process just how absurd this was and how badly it backfired. Because this is the story behind what has to be, considering the circumstances, the dumbest promotion in Super Bowl history. Usually, I talk about the context before talking about the incident, but screw it. We're just gonna dive right into this thing because it's that insane. Music City 103.3 FM was one of the biggest stations in Nashville, and they were one of the many country music stations in the city at the time when countrywide was starting to become nationwide, with the pop chart success of artists like LeAnn Rimes, Shania Twain, Lone Star, and Tim McGraw, just to name a few. And the station happened to have 2 tickets to the big game, because of course they did. This was a massive radio station in Nashville, home of one of the 2 teams playing in the game. Honestly, I don't know what radio station doesn't have some sort of promotion for the Super Bowl. But in order to give away the ticket and differentiate themselves from the rest of the pack, especially seeing as the station was competing in a heavily saturated market and was still trying to attract listeners, seeing as they only made the switch to country music 9 months before, they needed something creative. A call-in wasn't going to be good enough. They needed something that would intertwine themselves with the city. So, they decided to coordinate something with a police officer by the name of Jeff Keeter. Now, I'm not going to dive into the weeds of the relationship between the average person and police officers, If you want analysis on that, either turn on your local news station or watch Zootopia. However, the Nashville Metro Police seemed to think that this was a good idea as to what Music City 103.3 FM was proposing. As spokesman Don Aaron said on the idea, on paper, it sounded like a good promotion. Positive for the station and positive for us. The station thought that this was a good idea. The police department thought that this was a good idea. It seemed to be mutually beneficial, and all systems seemed to be a go in an effort to boost the popularity of the radio station, boost Titan Fever, and boost the relationship between Nashville citizens and the police. Which raises the ultimate million-dollar question. What was this promotion? Well, allow me to explain, because in theory, it was simple. One police officer in Nashville had 2 tickets to the Super Bowl in his pocket. All you had to do was find the random police officer, who in this case was Jeff Keeter, ask him for the tickets, and you got them, free of charge. That was the promotion. Find the cop with the tickets, and you've got the tickets. And I'm not even going to say anything just yet. We're just going to sit in silence for the next 10 seconds while I let you ponder this promotion so you can fully understand this and think of all the many problems with this promotion. Ready? We're just going to twiddle our thumbs and stare into space and just reflect. Just reflect and ponder and think. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All right, we good? We good? Perfect. Because this is the dumbest freaking idea for promotion I've ever heard in my life. I'm sure you can think of many, and I truly mean it, many problems with this promotion. In order to win the tickets, you have to track down the police officer. But police officers are usually pretty busy people, patrolling the streets on foot or by vehicle. So how do you track down the officer? Simple. You commit crimes. There were no rules for this promotion. If you asked the cop for the ticket and that cop had the ticket, you got them by any means necessary. A police car or police officer was a celebrity sighting. If you laid your eyes on one, that was your time to shine. There were reports of people running through traffic because they saw a cop and wanted to approach the cop to see if they had the tickets to the game. It even got to the point, I kid you not, where people were patting down police officers to make sure they weren't lying and make sure that they didn't actually have the tickets. Usually, it's the other way around where the cop pats down the civilian. This time, the civilian was approaching the cop and patting them down. And this was for the cops on foot. For the cops in cars, I think you can see where this one is going. There were drivers and motorists who saw cops and thought that this was the perfect opportunity to speed up. Seriously, instead of people slowing down around cops, people felt encouraged to increase their speed to catch up to the vehicle. People were encouraged to follow the police cars, basically stalking them wherever they were going, even if that place was a scene of a crime or a major emergency. Some people were even encouraged to intentionally speed if they saw a cop car behind them, so they would get pulled over in the hopes that they would get the Super Bowl tickets. A few points on your license or a small fine that gets thrown out in a few years is worth it for 2 tickets to the big game, which you could sell and make more than the fine. And I cannot even make this up if I tried. Some people even tried impersonating cops as they tried to pull other officers over in the hopes that the officer they were pulling over had the tickets. You know how the Purge made it so that crime was legal? Imagine if there was a legitimate incentive to try and commit crime. That's what this was. And making matters even worse and more chaotic, obviously, Jeff Keeter was in on the promotion. Duh, he had the tickets in his pocket. But a ton of the other cops? Yeah, the Metro Police never told them about the promotion. When cops were being patted down by civilians and were being approached all over the city by any means necessary, they had no idea why that was the case, because they had no idea that this was going on. It was a scavenger hunt where 90% of the people you were supposed to encounter on the hunt had no idea what you were doing. In fact, so many road rules were being broken at once during this that a traffic reporter for a different station, 95.5 WSM, commented on the promotion and the chaos in the city. Nashville was the Wild West. You want to know how you create unrest in a city? Do what Nashville did. Literally, just do what Nashville did. They inadvertently created a promotion where people were encouraged to break the law and disrupt the important work that police officers do. It genuinely takes skill to come up with a promotion this stupid. I couldn't do it if I tried. Even Michael Scott is in awe at how dumb of an idea this was. Which is why I think it's going to come as a surprise to no one that not even 1 hour after the promotion was announced on Music City 103.3 FM, it was canceled and was called off. No one won the promotion, as no one was able to find Jeff Keeter, who was on motorcycle. Considering the fact that police motorcycles go upwards of 100 miles an hour, and considering how exposed motorcycles are and how prevalent motorcycle crashes are, of all the guys to give the tickets to, this might have been the stupidest one you could have given it to. Instead, the station and the officers decided to scratch the idea and auction off the tickets, with the money going to the Police Athletic League, and bids being taken for the tickets live on the air. Said Don Aaron, the spokesman for the Nashville Metro Police, "We never expected the frenzy that would occur once the announcement came on the radio. It got ridiculous." Really? You never expected the frenzy to happen? One of the hottest radio stations in the region, during the time when everyone listens to the radio on their morning commute, announces that they have 2 free tickets to the Super Bowl, not even 4 hours away from here, where the hometown team is playing the game for the first time ever, and you're surprised that this happened? You're surprised that people went head over heels and went a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for the tickets? Have you seen the prices they pay? Have you seen the things people do for Super Bowl tickets? Prior to Super Bowl 19, in an effort to win tickets, Tony Smurdell got pelted by 4,900 eggs. How you even get 4,900 eggs in the first place, I have no idea. You could have just bought the darn ticket at that point on the resale market. Probably would have been cheaper. So this really shouldn't come as a surprise if you had more than 5 brain cells that a promotion that, in many ways, incentivizes crime is not going to go as swimmingly as you thought it would. For whoever won the auction, they got treated to a pretty good game, as the St. Louis Rams defeated the Tennessee Titans 23-16 in the Super Bowl, with the Rams winning their first Super Bowl in franchise history, and the Titans never making it back to the big game ever again as of this video being recorded. Now, even though the hometown Titans lost, you got treated to one of the best Super Bowls of all time. This almost kind of makes up for the fact that the Jaguars lost to the Titans of the AFC Championship, because this story is that insane. I know the Jacksonville Police Department can do some really stupid things at times when it comes to football. Look at what happened in 1998 when the Jaguars played the Buccaneers and a police officer arrested someone because that person was trying to sell their tickets above face value. And by selling above face value, I mean that they bought the tickets for $24.97 and they tried to sell them for $25 because the guy thought that no one was carrying 97 cents, because why would anyone carry 97 cents with them? You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. But this is a whole nother level of stupid that I don't even think the Jackson Police Department would consider. This is so asinine. I'm honestly in shock. I had to record this script multiple times because I was laughing too hard at how absurd of an idea this was. Like, what were they honestly thinking? So what did we learn from all of this? If you're going to do a promotion to give away tickets to the Super Bowl, great. Go for it. Be my guest. Give people a chance to get tickets to the game who otherwise might not get the chance. But if you're going to do it, do not, under any circumstances, create a promotion that heavily incentivizes people to commit crime and disrupt police officers. If your chances of getting Super Bowl tickets increase by patting down unsuspecting police officers, by speeding, by causing a disturbance, by dialing 911 for a false report, or anything along those lines, then your promotion needs to be scrapped. And if you decide to go through with this anyway like a complete moron, then at the very least, make sure you tell everyone on the force that this is a thing, so cops aren't wondering why random civilians want to pat them down and increase their speed on the road. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this promotion backfires. Talk about a dumb decision.
Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot, and check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.